very tough injury to come back from. That kind of injury. I don't know the severity of it, but if he has broken his jaw, you know, it's a tough one to come back from. But he's a crazy fucker that we take our hat off to.
The fights that he's been involved in, I mean, he's had a fantastic career, and I don't think this is the end of Fabio Wardley at all, but he showed that.
But I was surprised at the amount of shots that he took in the end, and that he wasn't out cold. That's what I was surprised about. You know? And I said he's going to do very well to not get hurt in this fight. Unfortunately, he got badly hurt with his jaw. But
Heavyweight world champion, he took the WBO title off Fabio Wardley, and can I just say, what a fucking tear-up that was.
What does it take to be a true warrior in the ring? Well, for Fabio Wardley, that question has been answered in a brutal heavyweight war against Daniel Dubois. The fight was nothing short of epic, a battle for the WBO heavyweight title that pushed both fighters to their absolute limits. But while the fight left both men physically and emotionally drained, there's much more to the story. After the brutal clash, Wardley's injuries took him straight to the hospital. But surprisingly, it was Daniel Dubois, the man who defeated him, who made the rare and respectful gesture of visiting his rival in the hospital. This is where we break down the emotional and physical toll of the fight, what happened behind the scenes, and how both men proved they were true warriors, not only in the ring but also in their conduct outside of it. The heavyweight showdown between Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley was nothing short of extraordinary. The fight was a spectacle from the very first bell. The energy in the arena was palpable, with fans eagerly anticipating a clash between two of the most talked-about fighters in the heavyweight division. Fabio Wardley entered the fight with a reputation for toughness and power, but no one could have predicted the toll the bout would take on him. From the first round, it was clear this was going to be a war. Dubois, known for his power, came out swinging hard, and Wardley was quick to respond with his own aggressive style. As the fight wore on, it became a battle of attrition. Wardley absorbed heavy punishment in the later rounds, with his face swelling and his body showing signs of the intense beating he was taking. Despite this, he continued to push forward, landing his own shots and never once backing down. The damage Wardley sustained was shocking. His nose was bleeding profusely, and it seemed like he was on the verge of collapse multiple times. But his resolve never wavered. The fight reached its climax in the 10th round when the referee finally called it off, much to the disappointment of Wardley, who wanted to continue fighting. But at that point, it was clear that Wardley's physical condition had deteriorated to the point where continuing wasn't safe. The toll the fight took on him was evident, and as the fight ended, many experts and fans alike were left in awe of Wardley's bravery. After the fight, the story took a turn that no one expected. Despite the violent nature of the contest, Daniel Dubois, the victor, showed a level of sportsmanship that was nothing short of remarkable. According to reports, Dubois personally visited Fabio Wardley in the hospital while Wardley was still recovering from the brutal injuries he had sustained during the fight. Wardley, who was still processing the emotional aftermath of the fight, was reportedly shocked by the visit. Emotions from the battle were still fresh, and to see his opponent show such class and respect was a humbling moment. Dubois' visit went a long way in proving that even in the most brutal of heavyweight fights, there is still room for respect and camaraderie between true warriors. Both fighters had been through a grueling and physically punishing contest, but outside the ring, they showed that mutual respect transcends competition. It was a rare and beautiful moment in a sport often dominated by heated rivalries and trash talk. Despite the violence inside the ring, these two men were able to recognize each other's strength and honor outside of it. Don Charles, a respected boxing figure and trainer, made it clear that Fabio Wardley had proven his worth in the ring, despite the loss. Charles was adamant that Wardley had shut down any criticism that might have been directed at him regarding his toughness and spirit. According to Charles, Wardley showed true warrior spirit in this fight, and the respect he earned in the process was undeniable. No one can ever question Fabio Wardley again, Charles remarked. Wardley's performance in the fight, despite the physical damage, earned him respect from even the harshest critics. Wardley showed that, while his boxing skills might not have been perfect, his heart was bigger than most. He proved that he belonged at the highest level of heavyweight boxing and that he was capable of going toe-to-toe with one of the best in the division. The loss may have stung, but Wardley's standing in the boxing world was elevated by the way he fought. It was a performance that showed not just toughness, but a will to win that could not be ignored. However, not everyone agreed with the way the fight was handled. Derek Chisora, another heavyweight veteran, raised concerns about the severity of Fabio Wardley's condition during the fight. Chisora, who has seen his fair share of brutal heavyweight battles, questioned whether the fight should have been stopped earlier, given the visible damage Wardley was enduring. "Listen, I'm no doctor," Chisora said, "but it did seem like Fabio was really hurt in there. He was bleeding badly, and I just think the fight went on too long." Chisora's concern was genuine. He saw Wardley taking repeated punishment, and his worry was that the damage might affect Wardley's long-term health. Chisora even went as far as to suggest that Wardley's camp should have thrown in the towel to prevent further harm. Chisora's comments are an important reminder of the physical toll boxing can take on a fighter. While Wardley's toughness and refusal to quit were commendable, there's also a responsibility to protect a fighter from unnecessary injury. The fact that Wardley is now recovering in the hospital speaks volumes about just how damaging the fight was. Frank Warren, a veteran boxing promoter, also weighed in on the severity of the situation after the fight. He confirmed that doctors had to carefully examine Wardley and administer medication to stabilize his condition. This further emphasized the seriousness of the damage Wardley had sustained during the contest. Warren's comments underscored the brutal nature of the fight and the toll it took on both fighters. "It was a hell of a fight," Warren said, "but it came at a serious cost. Fabio needed medical attention afterward, and that shows you just how intense this fight was. It wasn't just about the glory or the excitement. It was about the physical toll that these fighters endure in their pursuit of greatness." As the fight went on, some critics pointed out that Fabio Wardley's aggressive style may have contributed to the punishment he took. Derek Chisora, once again, raised concerns about Wardley's lack of a jab and his reliance on power shots. Chisora argued that Wardley didn't use his jab effectively, allowing Dubois to control the distance and slowly break him down. "Fabio wasn't ready for the technical side of boxing," Chisora said. "He was too busy looking for the knockout punch, and he didn't use his jab like he should have." That allowed Dubois to control the pace of the fight. Buddy McGirt, a respected trainer, echoed similar sentiments. He pointed out that Wardley's early knockdown changed his approach. Instead of sticking to his smart boxing, Wardley began to focus too much on landing that big right hand, leaving himself vulnerable. "After that knockdown, Wardley was just looking for that right hand," McGirt said. "No jab, no defense. It was all about landing that one big shot." While Wardley's heart and courage were unquestionable, his technical flaws became evident as the fight wore on. His inability to adapt after the knockdown allowed Dubois to settle into a rhythm, ultimately leading to his defeat. Daniel Dubois reflected on how mentally taxing the fight was for him. Despite winning, Dubois admitted that he had to push himself into a dark place to stay focused and secure the victory. "You have to dig deep," he said. "As a warrior, you have to go to that dark place and come out on top." Dubois' comments show just how challenging the fight was for both men. Wardley wasn't just a physical test for Dubois, he was a mental one as well. For Dubois, the fight became a battle of survival, and it was only his resilience and mental toughness that allowed him to pull through and claim the victory. Dominic Ingle, a renowned trainer, called the fight between Wardley and Dubois one of the best he's ever witnessed. He praised both fighters for their incredible toughness, particularly Wardley's refusal to quit despite the punishment he took. "What I saw in that fight was something special," Ingle said. "Fabio Wardley didn't want to quit. He showed the heart of a champion." Ingle's comments reflect the admiration that many experts have for Wardley's heart. Despite the defeat, he proved that he had what it takes to compete at the highest level. His performance will be remembered as one of the toughest in recent heavyweight history. While Fabio Wardley may have come up short in this fight, his legacy is far from finished. Frazer Clarke, another heavyweight contender, admitted that the fight wasn't the cleanest or most technical display of boxing, but it was exactly what the fans wanted: a brutal, all-out war. "It was a hell of a fight," Clarke said. "Both guys stood and traded under extreme pressure. It's what fans wanted